this channel. So we will continue our discussion on understanding the vibrations of the different numbers. The number which we are going to discuss today is the number 4, and we will have our discussion on the same parameters which we have been following in this series, which has been written on the board in front of you. So before we'll start our discussion, just a quick recap of all what we have studied so far. In the introductory videos, we have already discussed that what we are trying to do is that if there can be different form of divination in order to understand the secret functioning of the universe or of the nature. So amongst all those sciences, be it the palmistry, which works on the combination of the palm lines, be it the astrology, which works on the influence of the planets on our life, the numerology, which works on the principle of the numbers, is the easiest one. Like the way it has been believed that at the time when an individual is born, he comes under the influence of a planetary vibrations, a planetary radiations that can be equated with numbers, which is just going to give us this hint that what is the kind of influence an individual is going through, what are his innate talents, his ambitions, his career choices, his desires. So if you have a fair idea about those numbers, you can make your life in sync with the universal vibrations by increasing the frequency, the intensity of that number in your life. The concept is very simple. The frame of life, the frame of events in our life is fixed, but the outcome of the positive events can be increased, and the possibility of the obstructions and difficulties can be reduced or can be removed completely just by making use of these sciences only. So we have discussed all of this in the introductory videos, and we have also discussed the vibrations of the previous numbers, like the way the number 1, which is being governed by the planet Sun, which is all about the courage, enthusiasm, leadership qualities. Number 2, which is being ruled by the planet Moon, which is all about the peace, partnership, spirituality and the diplomacy. And just previous to it was the number 3, which is being ruled by the planet Jupiter, which is all about the joy of life, which is considered as the most luckiest number, about the enthusiasm, about the spirituality, wise counseling. So all those are the qualities which you can associate with the number 3, which we have discussed in the previous videos. One thing which I will again make sure that this series is not about those particular numbers, like the way life path number, which you get to know by making a sum of the whole complete birth details of yours, or the destiny number, which you get by making a complete total of your name number. Right now we are just concerned about the vibration of this number, whether this number is going to fall as your psychic number, your destiny number, your heart number, or let's say your pinnacles, your year number, period number. So unless and until you do not have a fair idea about the vibration of this number, you will not be able to associate it with other numbers which we are going to discuss very soon. Just remain assured guys, I'm going to make an individual video in all those numbers as well. So beginning with the number 4, the topic in hand. So when it comes to the ruling planet, so this number, the energy of and the vibration of this number is being associated with the Uranus and the Rahu. When it comes to Rahu, as you people know that Rahu is known as the north node of the moon. The nature of the Rahu is all about the confusion, illusion, but in its higher aspect, Rahu also gives you intuitive intelligence. It has the potential to give fame, success, but the only problem is that it has a very revolutionary, very rebelling kind of attitude. See, just because moon is our mind, our emotions, our intelligence, and when we say north node of the moon, so in the ancient times, the astronomers, the astrologers, the numerologists used to, just by making into consideration and giving consideration to these nodes, Rahu and Ketu, which can also be seen as the bipolar nature of the man. They used to give emphasis to these nodes only in order to take out the time of the lunar eclipse or the solar eclipse. So you can just really emphasize in a simpler language, they can be understood as these nodes, these points are the points where moon on its path intersects the path of the other planets. This is a very simplest way by which you can understood it. So all these qualities you will find infused and up to an extent inherent in the functioning and in the vibration of the number 4 as well. Sudden outcomes, unexpected events remains to be a part of someone's life who will be strongly under the influence of the number 4 vibration or the number 4 energy. When it comes to the positive, side of the number 4. So this number is all about the practicality, about the hard work, about the discipline, about having a strong foundation. You cannot compare this number with any other number when it comes to the practicality, when it comes to the eye for details. These people excel in all of that. So all kind of dependability, loyalty, faithfulness, hard work you will find in someone's life who will be strongly under the influence of this number 4. When it comes to the negative aspect, so like the way I have already explained, it's the energy of the Rahu, which is about the sudden events. Many times it has been happened that just because too many ups and downs happen in these people's life, that they tend to have this, very doubting nature. And just because they have the extremely, opinionated nature, they have the attitude and ability to look at things from different perspective, which many times create secret enemies and hidden enemies in their life. But the best part is that these people have the capacity to rise ahead in their life just because of their hard work, their perseverance and strong executive ability. So the negative qualities will be all around that strong egoism. Just because Rahu is a smoky planet, it doesn't have a physical body, so all kind of confusion, irritating nature, hallucination, idiosyncrasies can be found if this number and its energies will be working on a lower aspect. But just because if this number is being supported by positive numbers, there is a strong potential to get the material success, there is a strong potential to get the fame. When it comes to the destructive or the extreme negative, so like the way I always say on this channel, that you remain most vulnerable at the time period of the Rahu of taking the wrong decision. Let's say for example, Rahu, you are going through the time period of the Saturn. No matter whether good or bad, whatsoever is going to happen in your life, that is going to take place with a delay, with a time. Mars, all about the suddenness, all about the cuts, wounds, but it is only the time of the Rahu when you are most vulnerable of taking the wrong decision. Just because, let's say for example, I have seen all those cases in my personal consultations where the person was a doctor, he was destined to marry a fellow doctor only. The time of Rahu came, that wheel of illusion got all around his head. He ran into a school dropout, fell in love, got married, and once that Rahu's time got over, he was like in this notion, what the hell did I do? So this is all what remains to be a case as a point of vulnerability and an extreme destructive side of the Rahu, that it can give all kind of phobia, hallucination, mental idiosyncrasies, extreme arrogance, extreme critical nature, and can just give extreme ups and downs and extreme sudden events in someone's life. When it comes to the personal side, so just because, see, in the relationship, these people tend to remain faithful, these people tend to remain loyal, loving, even the sensuality also remains high, specifically in the male's case, if they will be strongly under the influence of the number 4. But the only problem is that just because a doubting nature, sudden events just create a chaos in their life. So a proper compatibility, matchmaking is very important, specifically in the case of before getting into a marriage. And just because these people also, what has been seen in the research is that these people have the tendency to shoulder too many responsibilities of their family, of their relatives, and many times it has been seen that these people are taken advantage of even within their family circle only. So these all are the important points of the personal side of the vibration of the number 4. When it comes to the opportunities and the vocation, like the way I have already explained, that this number, you need to first understand the keywords which this number represent. The keywords of this number is hard work, practicality, good executive ability, and just because these the Rahu has the potential to fight for the downtrodden. See, just because the energy of the 4 is one way or another way equivalent to 1 only, just because 1 is also about the authority, 1 is also about the confidence, 1 is also about the politics. So all these qualities can be found in the number 4 only, but just because they remain dormant, so it needs an extreme push from the other supporting factors in order to all those potential and all those traits and the qualities to come on the surface. So when it comes to the opportunities and the vocation, so working in the government, working in the political sphere, involving in politics tend to remain very harmonious for these people, just because Rahu is a planet who is ruling this number, which is all about the software, about computer science, about software development. So these people can associate it with those profession as well. These people can also associate with any of the teaching profession, judiciary, law. So all these professions tend to remain very suited for these people. And even when it comes to their financial state, I've already said this number has the potential to give enormous wealth, but the only condition is that if it will be supported by other numbers as well. When it comes to the body organs and the diseases, so many scholars associate this number particularly with the knees and the feet. When it comes to the diseases, so just because the influence of Rahu, though vulnerability to infection, vulnerability to the uncurable diseases, you are going through all kind of problems, you are going for the checkups and the problem is not getting diagnosed. So those are the kind of problems which these people remain vulnerable to. Apart from that, that skin infection, blood pressure related problem, so all these are remain to be the diseases which the number 4 people tend to remain very vulnerable of. When it comes to the compatible numbers, so that is something which is very important for you people to know. So see, on a surface level, just by making a sync of the astrology, even I can say that just because it is a number which is ruled by Rahu, Rahu is most compatible with the Mercury, with the Venus and the Saturn. So number 8 will be lucky and compatible, number 5 ruled by Mercury will be lucky, number 6 ruled by Venus will be lucky. So this will be a very incomplete information, you need to get into the core. So let's say when it comes to the compatible numbers, let's take the case one by one. 4 with the number 1. When it comes to the number 1, I have already explained, it is one way or another way, its signification and energies are equivalent to 1 only, just because those qualities remain dormant. 1 is the number of politics, authority, which this number also represent. So a combination in the form of the friendship, in the form of the business partnership, in the form of the marriage can be foreseen, where these people, their support of each other can be seen as giving a push for getting the success in the life. When it comes to the number 2, 4 and the number 2, which is being ruled by the moon, Rahu and moon are not at all friendly, they are very envious towards each other. So it affords the suddenness of the foe, the isolation of the foe, the unexpected anger and ego of the foe can give little bit of the psychological problems to the number 2. So from all the aspects, be it the friendship, be it the business partnership, be it the marriage, the compatibility of the 2 and 4 is not at all harmonious. When it comes to the compatibility of the 4 and the number 3, so number 3, which is being ruled by the planet Jupiter, which is all about the wise counseling, which is all about the friendship, which is also very fortunate number, because with 4 there is always the vulnerability of living in isolation. So this can be considered as a very ideal match from all the perspective, and specifically for the marriage perspective, if 3 is the number which is being governed by the woman and 4 is the number which is being governed by the man, so that will also be considered as very auspicious. When it comes to the match of the number 4 with the fellow number 4, so this is not considered as very auspicious match, because both numbers will rebel with each other. Both numbers, there will be the strong possibility of going inert and becoming inactive, rebelling. So 4 match is not considered as very auspicious. When it comes to the 4 with the number 5, which is being ruled by the planet Mercury, number 5 which is a little bit restless, which is little bit playful, and 5 is a number which requires the attention, and 4 is a number which is always in isolation, which is very very practical and very hardworking. So there, from the perspective of the marriage, it can be considered as a very mediocre match. From the business partnership, it can be seen, and from the friendship perspective, it can still be seen that these people might get along, but from the marriage, it is not a very catch, it is not a very successful combination. When it comes to the match of the number 4 with the number 6, which is ruled by the Venus, see, be it any number, 6 is a number of Venus, which is about the beauty, which is about the elegance, which is about the attractiveness. So any number would automatically be attracted towards the 6, but with the only problem is that with 4 there is a little bit of the sense of discipline, little bit of the tinge of the loyalty, and with the 6 it's too loving, little bit unstable, it's not very hardworking, it's not very active as the number 4 is. So there the marriage can be considered as a very mediocre match only. It cannot be said as a very perfect, a very ideal match, or a very ideal combination. A friendship can thrive, business partnership can thrive, but from the marriage perspective, it will still be considered as a very mediocre match. When it comes to the combination of the number 4 with the number 7, number 7 which is of the Ketu, number 4 which is of the Rahu. Rahu is the head, 7 is the Ketu which is the body. Body always works for the head. So this combination can be still considered as auspicious from all the perspective, be it the friendship, be it the business partnership, be it the marriage. When it comes to the combination of the number 4 with the number 8, it can be considered as auspicious in a way that 8 is also a number of security, about the discipline, about the power. It is also a number of fighting for the downtrodden, fighting for the poor, all of that which even number 4 represents. So their combination can be seen as a considered match from all the perspective, but the only problem is that be it the number 4, be it the 8, their success tends to go through all kind of struggle, all kind of disappointments, all kind of failures in the early half. So that might be a case that in the first half they might face and go through all kind of ups and downs, but in the latter half they will surely get the success. When it comes to the combination of the number 4 with the combination of energy and the vibrations of the number 9. So 9, which is a number which is ruled by planet Mars. So this combination is not considered as very harmonious. Friendship can still thrive, that 9 is going to infuse the energy, the willpower in the number 4. But when it comes to the marriage perspective, it is still not considered as very auspicious, very harmonious. When it comes to the list of the lucky colors, gemstones and the metal, so number 4 can be associated with the copper as the metal. When it comes to the gemstone, number 4 can be associated with the hezonite or the gomed, the gemstone. When it comes to the lucky colors, so electric blue, electric grey, white and the maroon are the colors governed by the energy of this number 4. So if you want to imbibe and increase all the positive qualities of this number 4, the vibration of the number 4 in your life, so you can think of adding these colors and wearing these gemstones in order to increase those energy. And when it comes to the deity association, the god association, so worship of the Lord Ganesha and the worship of the Lord Bhairava is the best thing which you can think of doing in order to strengthen the energy of this number 4 in your life. And all those signification which I have explained, up to an extent they will be applicable to the number 4, to the number 13, to the number 22 and to the number 31 as well. So this is all what I wanted to say as my take on the vibrations of the number 4 energy. I hope you guys found this video informational. For further more updates and notification on numerology, please subscribe my channel and like my Facebook page. Thanks.